Good morning, everyone. Usually I start my mornings with watercolor. Today I'm going to start with calligraphy. This is what I did last night. I'll turn around so you can actually see it in the right direction. So I did 75 of these last night. It is a pink envelope. The ink is like a rose gold. There you go. So I want to get this set of envelopes done as quickly as possible. I try to avoid having two sets of envelopes due at the same time, and these are going to accidentally end up like that if I'm not careful. I have a set of envelopes ready at the printer to be done, to be calligraphed, and I have this set that I need to get out as well. So I'm skipping painting today. It's Friday, my schedule's a little off anyway. So I'm going to be working on this morning. So I've got my ink. This is my rose gold ink. Give it a mix. I mixed this up last night. I don't usually work at night, but I really want to get these done. I don't have the patience for envelopes either. Comment was I don't have the patience for envelopes. I lose patience pretty quickly, so I'm just taking a brush right here and I'm just mixing this up. The sparkle part tends to settle. I know what you meant, Erica. Erica's like, oh, I'm excited to see your work. Wait, not that painting's not your work, but you know what I mean. Yes, I know what you mean. So I'm going to do a few more of the return addresses, and then I'm going to start on the envelopes. I have not done my guide sheet for it yet, so you get to see me do that. So I've got my ink, I've got my envelope, I've got my phone, which I'm going to hopefully not knock over. I'm going to clean the screen real quick. No, I've not gotten to my light box yet. Amy just asked if I said what kind of light box I have. This is a light pad. It's a little bit thinner than the traditional light box. This is, kind of what everybody's using these days. I've had this thing for probably 6 years. It works great. I initially had a bigger one, and the switch went out on it. This is the only thing they had in stock. I was in the middle of an order, and I had to replace it. I wish I had the bigger one, but this works. So this is kind of my mock-up. Obviously it's not perfect. That's why there's lines on it so I can see it through my paper. This kind of just is a guide of where my letters are going to go, because I have a few letters that combine with other letters. It'd be easier if this was a little bit higher, wouldn't it? I'm afraid if I raise this up anymore, I'm not going to be able to reach around it. Let's try a box. Appropriately, I'm putting this on an envelope box. Maybe. There we go. Ooh, I don't know if I'm going to be able to write around this. We'll see. Okay, so for my inks, I use Pearl X, which is this stuff here. Apparently they have some new stuff. I was unaware of that, but I have not tried their new stuff yet. I use Pearl X and Gum Arabic, and this box is not even close to being flat. Okay, you guys are going back down. I don't think I'll be able to reach over the top of it anyway. Question is Pearl X your favorite rose gold? Oh, definitely. I don't have any idea how else I would make it. I use gold gouache and the pink Pearl X, the pink gold. I don't know if you're actually really going to be able to see this very well because of the light backlit, but oh well, you live. I'm currently using the Hunt 101 nib. Question was, what nib am I using? Hunt 101, it's my favorite. Unless I specify otherwise, it's basically the only one I use. Oh, excuse me. I'm going to rearrange a few things here. I'm going to move my ink over. Thank you. These envelopes are a little bit thicker. Usually, like when I was working on these last night, I did it with the lights off so I could really see through it. But because these are the return or the reply envelopes, I've pretty much memorized the address by now. The placement, I don't really need the light box. Let's see if I can do it turned off so you guys can actually see it. Is my Hunt 101 nib very scratchy too? It is kind of a scratchy nib. Let's see if you guys can. That's a better angle. I don't notice the scratching at all anymore, but I'm assuming on a video you can probably hear it pretty loudly. Yeah, they're pretty scratchy. It's a pretty pointy nib. Some nibs are sharper than others, and this is definitely a sharper one, which is why I like it. I can get some really fine lines, but it's not so flexible that it catches real easily. Alright, so I just turned that on to see where I'm starting. Doing my first envelope work soon. Do you recommend pencil lining or light box? If you have a light pad, use a light pad. There are certain projects that you just can't use a light pad on, like darker envelopes. I actually don't pencil line anymore because nothing makes me more homicidal than getting an entire order done and being like, yes, I'm done, because I'm so impatient. I don't really like doing envelopes. And then having to go back and erase all the lines. Drives me crazy. So if I have dark envelopes, I usually will make a template. Where do I store my paper, the big sizes? Are you talking about the big sizes like if I'm doing a giant piece of artwork, or big sizes like big envelopes? Paper comes in lots of big sizes. My big giant pieces of paper are stored behind my door. Actually, you can see them. That's where all my big big papers. My envelopes are all here. They're in an open top box. They're usually a little bit more organized. I haven't gone through this in a while. They're organized by color and by envelope size. So these are the big ones. Keep trying to get this so you can see my hand, and my hand is not in the way, but then my phone is very, very much in the way of my hand. Focus. Erica says, thanks for the buy one, get one free tip at Michael's yesterday. Yep, the sketchbooks, watercolor paper, all that hoopla is on sale at Michael's right now for buy one, get one free. It's been buy one, get one 50% off for a while, but buy one, get one free is definitely my jam. I like it. Alright, so that pretty much sets me up for my envelopes. I needed 75, so I did 8 packs. They're the paper source envelopes, so I know I did 80. That was an additional 3, so there's 83, and I have 3 mess ups, so that should be plenty. So I'm going to go ahead and prep my next page for my envelopes. I have inner and outer envelopes to do for this project, so the first thing I'm going to do is double check that these are my outer envelopes. They do have a seal on them, so that indicates they're probably outer, but I'm going to check the box. Those are inners. Yeah, that would be pretty horrifying if I did all the envelopes opposite. So this is going to be my practice envelope. It's got a little smudge. I'm going to take it right here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go in with a pencil, kind of map out where my lettering is going to go, and then I'm going to make my lined paper from that. Okay, so I have my zip, city, address, name, and then this is going to be my extra line. So my extra line will be for if there's an apartment number or more than one person is listed on the invitation. All right, so there's my guidelines, and I'm gonna go ahead and grab a ruler, which is usually in front of me. There it is, and measure this and actually make sure it's equidistant, because they're not. I eyeballed it, and they're not even. I'm gonna do them at just over ½ an inch. So Fridays I have an oddball schedule. I don't typically work on Fridays. I try to take Fridays off. But today I'm working a little bit because my class schedule is different. Okay, so I'm going to grab this is my triangle. And I'm going to make sure that these lines are actually straight by using a triangle. I'm going to move my light box. Hold my pencil in my mouth. Okay, so by using the square, I'm just making sure that they're actually straight across. It's always fun when your entire order of envelopes is just slightly crooked. I have done that. Yes, I am currently making the template that I'm going to use on my light box. So I went through on my envelope with a pencil and I kind of mapped out where I wanted my lines to fall. And now I'm going to make my line pretty dark so I can see it through my light pad, or through the envelope on the light pad. So I began my copper plate class today, which I'm very excited about. I am taking a copper plate. It is the first time I have ever taken copper plate. What is the largest number of invites I've ever done in one order, i.e. how big was the wedding? Hashtag curious, nice. I did get an inquiry earlier this month for 900, and when I told him the price, I never heard back from him. So I'm assuming he did not realize how expensive it was, because I certainly did not give a bulk discount. My sanity has a cost associated. The biggest one, I got the inquiry from a printer. Hold on. Oh, I'm sneezy today. Yeah, it was from a printer that did a big giant set of envelopes for a charity event, a big gala. So there's my template. It's not super exciting. The largest order I've ever done, I had one that was 500 invitations for a Vietnamese wedding, but it was 500 invitations, 500 inner envelope, or outer and inner envelopes, so it was 1,000 envelopes. And I got it done pretty quickly. I got it done in about 3 weeks. So that's pretty fast for that many envelopes. So these are my envelopes. These are Crane & Co. Beautiful, beautiful envelopes. Not always my favorite to work on cotton, but Cranes are really nice. So I pull out a handful. Vintage stamps, are there special editions just for deco? Question stamps. I kind of briefly caught that question. Do you mean the stamps we use for pretties, like when we're shooting and styling something, or do you mean for actual mailing? And someone asked where I'm taking my calligraphy class. I take classes through the Flourishes Center, which is through Mainland Night School. It's a lot of adult education classes, but there's a lot of like old people classes, how to use a computer, that kind of stuff. But they also have cooking classes and art classes. It's where I take my French as well. So I love it. So you guys can't see what I'm doing right now. Let me put this up a little bit more. I'm getting my address list prepped. So I usually put my address list under my pad here. Question was about mailing with vintage stamps. There are companies that actually do just that, so I usually let them handle it. There are collections that you can purchase. They were all either from the same time period, or sometimes they're swirling my ink because that metallic tends to settle. Or sometimes they're thematic, all flower stamps that are vintage. Sometimes it's all same color. Are there vintage stamps in the U.S. for mailing? Not a stupid question. It actually is something that not a lot of people know about. And as soon as I find my pen, oh, there it is. There we go. I actually collect vintage stamps. So this is something I've been doing almost my entire life, but I collect stamps that have already been canceled. I do have some vintage ones that haven't been canceled yet. Canceled are those little lines on it when they go through the post office. So this is just a small box I have. This is what I use for styling shoots because it's all organized by color. I have a massive, massive box of stamps that date back to, I think the oldest one I have is 1820. So I have some really, really old ones. I have half and quarter cent stamps. I've got some really cool ones. I have stamps from all over the world. So I use them for photo shoots, for styling. But if you can find stamps that are vintage stamps that have not been canceled, they are still valid for the denomination that they originally printed for. Which, granted, is not what we mail things for anymore. So you have to use a whole bunch of them. But they're awfully pretty. Okay, so people have asked me a lot, do I pencil an address in first when I'm starting with a new font? I don't usually, but I'm kind of debating whether I want to on this one or not. I don't think I will. So I'm just going to go for it. If I script the first one, whatever. I've got plenty of extra. I don't know what's going on with my allergies today. I keep sneezing. Trying to find a good angle for you guys so that you're not in my way and I'm not in your way. That might have to do. Question is, when I started commissioning envelopes, did you offer different styles? Yes, I've always offered a ton of styles. It's actually really hard to talk and write. That does not necessarily mean you have to. There are lots of people who don't, that only offer either a specific style, the style they like doing the best, or if it's just a style they've really perfected. So in front of me, I do have this. This is my sample. It was an example they pulled off my website that they wanted. Question was, oh shoot, I just read it and now I've already forgotten it. Oh, sorry. I don't remember what your question was. My mind is blank. I'm thinking about too many things today. Yeah, someone is saying that their internet is kind of funky, so as they're watching videos and my face stops and starts again. I have a very animated face, so when it stops randomly, I'm sure I'm making all sorts of funny faces. Oh, the question was calligraphy in the post office. This is kind of a... calligraphy in the post office sucks. Sometimes it's totally fine, sometimes it's totally not. There are not necessarily styles that can't go through the post, but there are styles that the post office doesn't particularly like, especially the contemporary stuff. So this is what I get for writing and talking. I've just run out of room. So this will be my practice one, especially because this is not a font I do often. And I'm kind of struggling with some of these letters, remembering how to do them. You're not seeing my face today, by the way. I haven't gotten dressed yet. I have this in my contract, and I think that's really important to set expectations up correctly. That, okay, this is actually the same address that's on my returns, my reply envelopes, so I already know that I can connect to these two. When it comes to mailing things for the post office, whenever, this is what I have in my contract, whenever you mail something, especially in mass, you're going to lose some. I usually say between 1% and 3%. No matter what, it can be a typed address, you're still going to lose some. The United States Postal Service is not the most reliable thing at all, by any means. If an address can't be read, it's usually kicked out by the machine and then processed by hand. they only need to really be able to read the zip code, because then it goes to that zip, and people in that zip code can then look at it and determine if they recognize the address or whatnot. So making sure that your zips are legible is really pretty important. But I always let my clients know it's inevitable. It doesn't matter if we type them, it'll still happen. So they don't come back to me and they're like, this envelope and this envelope and this envelope, I want a refund, or I want you to redo them, whatever. Yep, that's not going to happen. Now, if they would like me to rewrite some of them that just mysteriously did not get to their destination, that's fine, I will. But I don't take fault for it, which a lot of clients try to blame the calligrapher. So reading comments as we go. I will do them for an additional fee. To be totally honest with you, I usually won't actually charge, especially if it's only 2 or 3 of them. Mostly because it's just a pain in the butt for me to go back through and redo billing. But I say I'm going to charge them just so they understand, hey, this is a normal thing. You know, you don't get to have me running around like a chicken without my head on, because this envelope took 2 days longer to get there than you thought. Okay, so this is a good sample for my first envelope. I'm not super happy with some of it. My W is janky and wonky and it doesn't really match, so I need to sit down and go back through this font and figure out what my W looks like, because that's definitely not it. It has been ages and ages and ages since I've worked in this font, so I need to pull out some old samples. I'm also not super happy with my downstrokes and my upstrokes. My upstrokes are a little thin, my downstrokes are a little thick, so I'm probably going to switch nibs. I'm going to go with the Nico that's a little bit stiffer, and it doesn't catch as much because this is cotton paper. Someone had said earlier that my nib scratches a lot, the Hunt 101 in particular, and that is correct, it does. But I'm going to switch to something that doesn't. Right, we're going to try this Nico for a bit. I'm glad you guys are learning a lot in the flourishing workshop. The comment was she's learning a ton. However, I'm still seeing your guys' flourishing as you tag me in things. And let me tell you, you did not listen to all the rules. And if you want me to actually give you feedback, let me know. Tag me and say that in the comments. Otherwise, I'm not giving feedback. Okay, so this one is so stiff that I missed this line. You can actually see the dent in the page. No lizard tails. No pigtails either, guys. No pigtails either. No dead ends. We're going back to flourishing, talking about the things you're not supposed to be doing. The thing I'm seeing most with the stuff that's been posted on Instagram from the flourishing workshop is too many styles on one envelope or one lettering style. And let me tell you something. These, just stop doing these. Please just stop doing these. Please stop doing these. So people are like, yeah, this one, and then this one, and then this one, all in one lettering. These are not the same style flourishes, guys. These, just leave these alone. Just don't touch them. Resist. Friends don't let friends do this flourish. This is a flourish that is, I would even venture to say, out of my wheelhouse. The people who do this flourish are very classically trained to get the proportions correctly. It's fine to doodle them, but that's not the muscle memory you want to be establishing, is that back and forth movement. It's good if you're practicing your open arm movement from your shoulder, but I would rather you guys be doing these or these with that open arm movement than these. This is not the best habit to be establishing at this point. Or do these, the up and over ones, or these. Pretty much do anything but these back and forth ones. This is a nasty little habit to get in. This, do not rely on this. I feel like that's what happens is people are like, hey, here's my awesome writing. Woohoo, I'm awesome. But it actually just looks awkward. Don't use it as a handicap or a band-aid to be like, bam, look at me, I'm awesome. Do it correctly and think about it before you do it. And don't use these. Friends say no. Okay, so that was my sample envelope. I guess I need to go back because I still need to figure out what nib I'm using. Ooh, let's see what else I have in here. I might actually have to get my box out. Let's try the baby one. Maybe use them for drills is the question. I'd actually even prefer you don't. I'd rather you do the drills that have to do with the flourishes you're going to do, like these other shapes, than use a drilling style that is going to create muscle memory that you're not going to use. For goodness sake. Okay, so this is not flowing. Gonna clean it off. Try again. See, that one catches too. Ooh, this might be bad. Yay, cotton. I mean, these envelopes are super dreamy, but ugh, they're not fun to write on. Alright, so I'm gonna get my box of nibs. And we're gonna see what we have here. Here's my boxes, plural. Woohoo, I'm awesome. That cracked me up. Yes, I am very animated. Alright, so we've got all kinds of nibs in here. I might try one of these guys. And I'm going to try one of these guys. This is actually a vintage nib, which I know is not very helpful. Do I ask for extra envelopes for errors? Yeah, a whole bunch. So I have 75 envelopes to do for those return addresses, and I still have another 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 packs sitting over there. She gave me so many extras I don't know what to do with myself. But at the same time, I'm like, ooh, I hope she doesn't need more than what I already did. Okay, I'm gonna pull out a few extra here. So for this order, you're using crayon, yes, dot crayon envelopes, yes. I'm using Paper Source Deluxe Blush for the return addresses, or for the reply card envelopes, and crayon for the mailing and inner. Guys, I might just get stuck using my hunt. Gee, here's the rose. Give back any extra envelopes that I don't use. Yes and no. I give back most of the extra envelopes. Let me read this one real quick. Is it acceptable to address print envelopes with digitized personal calligraphy style? Digitized personal calligraphy style, there is no such thing. It's called a font. So it's definitely not the same. There are printers that will print for you. Personally, I don't print envelopes. Whoops! Sorry. I just took my nib out of my holder and that's what happened. I never print addresses. If someone asks me, I say I don't offer that service. They're welcome to have it done elsewhere, but it's not something I will source, outsource, do myself, or offer for my clients because I'm a calligrapher. Why would I do that? Plus, I don't like it. Oh, we have a winner. Okay, this is the Browse Rose. Yep, that's what we're going to be using. Definitely. Okay, that is so much smoother. Awesome, first try. Let's stick these nibs somewhere. Okay, so I'm going to actually go through here real quick, probably with a pen, and I'm going to fix some of the letters, figure out what my W is supposed to look like. So what makes this font distinctive is this kickback right here. It's so offensive to a calligrapher to ask them to print. Yeah. Well, keep in mind I'm also a stationer, so it's like I do get it once in a while, but most of the time I'm like, really, guys? Really? The other question was, do I hang on to envelopes or do I give them back? I do give envelopes back, but not all of them. I always hang on to some of them because if they have an additional address or something like that, they don't have to send me envelopes. I have some on hand to use. I think I can handle that W. I like that W. So anything M, N, P, B all have this shape to them. The other thing that's distinctive is this very long and a hard pull down for the flourish. So you see it here. It was supposed to be here, but I messed it up because I was talking. Obviously here. You see this long drawn out shape here too. I don't particularly like this connection point. I like this one better. So I think I need to look at those. I could add this onto the top. Oh yeah, I definitely like that. Okay, that's how I'm gonna do my M's then. So this is how you discern a style, and flourishing style is you sit down and you look at what makes it distinctive, what you like about it, what you don't like about it. So I'm going through and I'm saying they're long drawn out flourishes. It's got this very distinctive point here. You know, I don't particularly like this guy over here. So that's gonna be the font I'm using. It's pretty much dry now, so you can kind of get a better look at the ink on the white. It's really quite pretty. It doesn't look like it's on my pencil marks everywhere. Oh, it's really pretty. That's a dreamy color. I want to get married. Oh, my husband will do a vow renewal. You could just send out really, really badass Christmas cards. Okay, so I'm gonna go. I'm gonna work on these a little bit before I head to class. Class is at 11, so my noon Periscope is gonna be delayed today. I probably, goodness, I feel like I might be getting sick. I probably will come back this afternoon and do some more calligraphy work. So I'll set you guys up so you can watch, and hopefully I have figured out my D's and my W's by then. I might do a Periscope during my class today. We'll see if my teacher notices. So mad she didn't know about the summit. Okay guys, stay tuned because we will have another announcement for it. Or you can be bugging Ashley Lurcott. Sorry, Ashley. Since she is our head honcho, our fearless leader, she kind of has final say in the next announcement and kind of what happens moving forward. So bug her, be like, hey girl on Instagram, or the Modern Calligraphy Summit Instagram handle, be like, hey, so can we like rewatch this later? Are you going to do a second launch for it? And hopefully that'll show her that you're interested. So go over to Instagram, Modern Calligraphy Summit, let her know that you want to be able to retake it. All right, guys, I will see you later today, and hopefully we'll get some more calligraphy done. Looking forward to creating first drafts. Oh, excellent. And I will see you guys later. This will be on Catch. I'll get this up on YouTube tomorrow as well. Bye, guys. See you later.